Well, greetings and salutations, friends and families of Trinity. I hope and pray that everyone is enjoying their summer and spending time with the ones they love. Last week, I published the results of the Parent Reopening Survey, and I announced the formation of Titan Force, a group of truly superhero volunteers dedicated to the singular mission of developing a plan to reopen Trinity in the fall. Since then, all of our subcommittees met to conduct research and develop recommendations related to health and wellness, student experience, campus operations, and business continuity. The entire committee then met this past Thursday to discuss the recommendations from each of those committees and to vote on a preliminary path to reopening. Now, before I get into the specifics, I want to acknowledge that we are definitely living in a truly difficult time. COVID-19 is real, and it is a continuing threat to public health and safety. For the past few months, all of us have been struggling to get through this pandemic the best we can, and it has created a lot of stress and anxiety, especially for our kids. About mid March, with little warning, life as we know it just stopped. Schools were shut down, parents and students and teachers were forced to muddle through distance learning, something I think we can all agree was suboptimal compared to in person learning. In addition, all of our sports ended, all movie theaters closed, and restaurants and all the social activities ceased, summer camps closed, life seemed to go virtual, Zoom hangouts, socially distanced play dates. This societal shift has definitely taken a significant toll on our kids. Literally everyone who studies mental health in children is sounding the alarm. And our task force was absolutely unanimous that it is past time to end our children's isolation and return them to school for in person, 5 day a week learning beginning August 12th for all students who are enrolled at Trinity. Folks, our children deserve the best Christian education we can provide. And I believe we do have a moral obligation as parents and educators to provide it. But can we do this safely? The task force believes that we can. While it is true that COVID 19 continues to be a dangerous disease and there is still a lot we don't know about it, most of the available scientific research and data, though, currently indicates that school age children are the least susceptible to infection from COVID 19. They suffer the least, if at all, when they are infected, and they do not appear to play a significant role in its transmission. Wow, so that is certainly good news. It is what has given us the confidence to move forward with reopening Trinity in the fall. But I also want to emphasize that the committee recognizes that reopening does still involve some risk. While the danger of COVID 19 to children is definitely less than the danger to adults, that does not mean that there is no danger at all. Children can carry the virus, often asymptomatically, and unknowingly spread it to any adults they encounter, some of whom are Trinity teachers, aides, and administrators in high risk categories. This will definitely make Trinity reopening tricky, but it is not going to make it impossible. It means that we're going to have to take some precautionary measures to reduce the risk of infection while the pandemic persists, while doing everything we can to maximize the value of in person teaching and learning. So, our preliminary plan for reopening is fairly straightforward. For the first quarter of the fall semester, we will generally seek to follow, where it's feasible, the guidelines that have been put out by the CDC, the WHO, AAP, the Kentucky Health Department, and the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. During that 8 week period, we will evaluate the effectiveness of these guidelines and make any adjustments as the situation evolves. During this time, we will be emphasizing social distancing, class cohorting, temperature taking on a daily basis, health screening, hand washing, coughing and sneezing etiquette, increased sanitation, air purification, ventilation. We're going to try to do as many outside activities, including lunches. We're going to need to isolate individuals who may get sick. And yes, we are going to employ the limited use of masks, with some exceptions for those with health conditions, for students who are in grades 1 through 12, whenever proper social distancing can't be achieved. While none of these measures by themselves completely eliminate the risk of infection, taken together, we do believe that they provide a way for us to move forward as a school community in a safe and a responsible manner. Now, I do recognize that this plan for reopening might not work for everyone. There may be some for whom in person learning is simply not possible. Others may have very strong convictions about mask wearing or not mask wearing. So, for folks who would prefer not to attend in person classes this fall, we are planning to offer a robust, high quality distance learning program to support you. We will have more information on what this distance learning program will actually look like next week, but I just want you to know that you will have that option. So, before I go, I did want to say a few words about masks, as this seems to be the most potentially divisive issue for our community. First, I want to recognize that a majority of Trinity families indicated their preference for students not to wear masks. But I also want to recognize that a not insignificant minority of Trinity families and faculty indicated their preference for wearing masks. This is a bona fide catch-22 with the potential to alienate and divide. Back in June, during our town hall meetings, I stated that our desire was to limit and hopefully eliminate the need for masks. This is still the case. To be clear, the task force does not recommend that students and teachers wear masks all day while they're at school. Students who are in preschool and in kindergarten will not be required to wear masks at all. And for the majority of the school day, the rest of the student body will not be wearing masks while they're in the classroom learning, because thankfully we are able to physically distance them appropriately. I recognize that this solution is unlikely to fully satisfy those on either side of the mask divide. However, my sincere appeal to everyone is that we come together in a spirit of cooperation and that we view this as a temporary measure to be eliminated just as soon as possible. We simply cannot afford to let this issue of masks distract us or divide us from accomplishing the vital mission of our school. If Trinity is to survive this moment, it is absolutely imperative that all of us embrace an open hearted and spirit filled attitude of charity and cooperation to keep our school community united and moving forward. We have way too much to lose to do anything otherwise. Our kids depend on it. Now, I know we can do this if we will fix our eyes on Jesus and we will walk humbly with each other. My sincere prayer is that all of us will grow closer together as we come together in unity around our faith and our common purpose. So until next week, stay healthy, my friends.